Hello and welcome to General Games Destiny top 8 of our league.
That's right.
I'm in the booth here with Matt.
Hi guys, pleased to meet you.
Neither of us made the top 8, so we get to throw peanuts instead.
Look, clearly something went wrong somewhere along the line.
So we got relegated to commentary.
That's right, and not that our bitterness is just going to leak through into everything.
So, anyways, so we're going to be covering. We're going to try and cover 2 matches from the top 8, and then all the matches from the top 4.
That's right,
and so on.
So we'll highlight a couple of the early rounds, and then we'll see all of the finals.
Yeah. So here we go. We've got Carl playing Damien Madigan.
That's right. So this is the top and the bottom seed.
First plays 8th. So Carl's playing a deck which he has won a store champs with, and does believe is quite strong. And I agree. I think it's a very strong.
All right. They've Carl's won the roll, and they've taken the carbon freezing chamber. So
Damien playing one of his many interesting decks. He doesn't like playing meta. He's very anti-meta, which is great to watch. Great to play against, great to watch, because it really tests your ability to play against something that's not particularly obvious.
That's right. And whilst there are a lot of complex lines in many of the decks he plays, Damien's naturally a decisive player, so you won't see him messing around much.
No, he'll just do it.
We saw the classic opening from Carl where he's rolled in Snap and hasn't really cared what he hit, even though the crush has applied pressure to Damien.
Yep. So just before we get too far into the match, we'll point out that we are playing the Swiss play, like the Swiss play rules, which state that by seeding gets to decide. So basically, because Carl was first seed, it was his choice for the...
Oh, okay.
We did not roll for the battlefield. He just simply chose it. Now, talking about the decks a little bit more in detail. So, Snap's ability, very, very powerful. As long as he has a dice in the pool, your opponent must pay 1 to claim the battlefield.
That's right. And if they're tapped out, they just have to sit there in misery and watch you
play.
Yeah, that's right.
So, obviously, looking at his list here, mono red... Don't be deceived. The list has so many legs. It will keep going and going and going. And you just think, I've played against it, and you sit on the other side of the table, and you cannot believe how much damage you need to put into a character before they go down.
Between defensive position and field medic and dug in, there's just such a lot of defense.
Yep.
Like mono red the control used to be a joke.
Yep.
And between what they have the power of what they have available and the consistency of the carbon freezing chamber, it just mitigates a lot.
Yeah, of course. So obviously one of the main gimmicks of the deck, I guess, being the fact that you lock your opponent out from resources, making so they can't claim, and then you can, at your leisure, simply claim and carbon freezing chamber one of their dice.
That's right. And if you have Planetary Uprising in play at the time, so much the better.
Yeah, exactly. So... See, so where are we at the moment?
So Unkar's got enough to activate his ability, which, as you know, you can remove any combination of dice up to for an integer of 3 to have your opponent discard a card, and you can gain the resources of that card's cost. So
Damien's list, very interesting, and the way he plays it probably equally as interesting. You sit down at the table and you think, you got to be careful of the damage that's going to be coming out from FN and potentially the Trooper and stuff. But you'll actually see him sometimes actually re-roll damage purely to get the to fuel Unkar's ability.
That's right. Like sometimes you just need the value of the dice on the table.
Yep.
Because he wants to make you discard cards, earn resources, so he can play more upgrades.
Yeah. So he's planned very much to get some big stuff in play. So talking about his list, his explanation was he realised that the supports just do more. Hence the ATST
and the interrogation droid.
The rocket launcher.
Odd jumpers, very good.
Yeah. A very cool inclusion in his list that hits very regularly is Friends in High Places.
That's right. And when you're running such a number of high-cost supports, it pays off.
I may have had an ATST land on the battlefield once or twice. That was not paid for.
That's not demoralising.
And I think that's a Friends in High Places into a quad jumper.
That's an excellent start. Quad jumper essentially allowing you to overwrite with a larger support.
Yeah, so that could eventually become an ATST.
Yes. If you think of it as an installment plan on an ATST.
Yep. So we also see one of the other major win cons of Carl's deck in play at the moment, which is the Planetary Uprising.
Yes.
Being able to completely control when your opponent claims or does not claim gives you the liberty of playing cards like Planetary Uprising. It's just guaranteed damage because you will be dealing it eventually.
And it's such a lot of pressure that your opponent will frequently claim too early and deny themselves value just for fear of the 2 that it will
100%. Again, it's almost damage mitigation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your opponent will play differently because they're afraid of the 2 damage. And let's not talk about when you get 2 in play. That is a different.
Yeah, look,
that's a different way of playing Destiny. So it looks like, honestly,
so Damien's showing 3 damage at the moment, and also plenty of fuel for Unkar.
He's in a good spot here. Damien's in a really strong spot. He's got on board, I believe he has 1 activation of Unkar, possibly 2 activations of Unkar on board if he wanted to fire them both off.
Absolutely.
The downside, I guess, in this matchup in particular,
is there's not such a lot of high cost.
No, exactly. A lot of zeros.
Yeah.
Talking to Carl about his list, the reason he likes this list in particular is you can be looking at a hand of quite literally 5 zero costs.
Yeah.
And it feels great.
Yeah, it just your options stay open all the way through. It means you're actually happy to tap out frequently.
Yep. So Damien, I believe it plays on Damien. He's considering his options. He has 1 card in hand.
Yeah, I missed what it was. Carl's actually got quite a few.
So actions on Carl. Now, he has a lot of plays here. We can see he's just going to fire off the field medic. Doesn't get any particular value out of it, but
he's going to lose his. He fears losing his.
Fears losing the resource,
and also it gets a 1-cost card out of his hand.
Yeah, exactly. Because looking at his other cards in hand, so he's got an It's a Trap. He's got a Sensor Placement, and that is an all-star. Oh my god, Sensor Placement, not as good versus Damien's deck. Not terrible. Hitting Unkar's Disrupt. All right. For reference, what does it do?
Yeah. I actually haven't run against Sensor Placement before.
Okay, so Sensor Placement is if you control the battlefield.
Yep.
No. So if you spot a red character, resolve one of your opponent's non-damage dice, so either a melee or anything that's not melee or guns, as if it was yours.
Oh, that's terrific.
So resolve their specials, resolve their disrupts, resolve their shields, resources, whatever.
Yep.
Right. Arguably better in probably the best thing you can do with the resolve an opponent's special, like a force throw.
Yeah.
Or
you're never going to be sad.
Or an Anakin special that equals 4 damage. But in this case, that card against the disrupt, very strong. Interestingly, though, Carl's chosen to discard it, I believe, or was it hit by Unkar? I actually think it was hit by Unkar.
I'll be honest, I was distracted by your explanation. But it looks like Carl claimed.
Carl claimed,
and he
discarded it.
He's taken one of Unkar's dice.
He's taken
and frozen it.
Yep. Which is good. Having played against this deck a little bit today, actually. When I first started playing, I was playing against this. I play a similar list with a carbon freezing chamber, and I found that you instinctually want to take the FN die, but the problem is Damien's not really using it for damage, at least not early.
No.
So the thing is, if you take Unkar's die, what that means is you're actually indirectly reducing the amount of damage you could potentially take, because now he's forced to use the FN die as the main value source.
That's right. And while Unkar's die doesn't have any damage on it, it's actually its symbol's average is quite high. So you get a lot of value out of it.
Exactly. So I do believe it is correct to hit the Unkar die.
Yeah.
It definitely slows down the fuel for Unkar's ability, which is very strong.
What we're seeing on Unkar at the moment is Personal Shield, which is an excellent inclusion against an all-red gun-based deck.
Oh yeah, very good. That's going to get some value. That is
just rolling in and showing what he's armed with. He's all about the guns.
Mm-hmm. So Personal Shield, obviously, every time you would take a range damage, you may exhaust it to reduce it by 1. Yeah.
So if you are going to take gun damage that won't be blocked by shields, you can tap it and gain a shield ahead of the damage.
And that's not to mention the number of shield sides on the thing. It's got
the
4
actual
shields.
Die it's covered in value.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's fuel for Unkar. Again, it's just fuel for Unkar. Damien's main strategy is to quite literally overrun you with support to the point where he can kill you with just support dice, and you can't do anything about it because their values are so high. Now,
is that a lazy?
It's a lot. So that's 1 damage on snap.
5 damage.
1 damage. 1. Yeah. So 2. That's
5 plus the 1 from snap. So that's 6 damage that Carl's showing.
Yeah. Base 2 on base plus 1 plus 2 and a 1. Yeah. So 6 damage. Going to be resolved.
Damien's dice rewarding him with the coveted blanks.
They're on there. So that's going to be 5 into FN.
Yeah. And absolutely, FN's the one you've got to kill.
Yep.
He enables the machine gun.
Yep, definitely. Obviously, the money rolls in for Damien. He's able to upgrade and replace good weapons on FN, roll them in, get the value, roll them in.
That's right.
It's what he wants to be doing. Carl playing against it quite well, recognising the strategy very quickly, locking up one of Unkar's dice and targeting the biggest threat the deck has, being FN.
That's right. Digging in, just...
Yep. Again, that's that survival mono-red, deceptively strong. Now, I don't know if Damien plays a vibro knife. He has one in hand.
He also has an ATST, and I'm sure he's staring at it.
Yep.
Because the red decks, whilst they're difficult to put down, they don't run a lot of spot removal.
No, very, very minimal spot removal. ATST will do a lot.
Yeah, so if I'm Damien, I'm looking to get advantage out of my quad jumper and then trade up.
Yep. On the other hand, Carl's looking at an It's a Trap and a Confidence. Confidence, interesting card. Deceptively strong removal, actually. So it is force your opponent to resolve a die, which, cool. So they,
But if a powerful die rolls up a symbol that doesn't trouble you.
Yep. Exactly. Or just remove a base.
Yeah.
They might show 8 damage, but only 1 base. You force them to resolve the base, they're left with a bunch of modifiers that they can't do anything with.
Been in a number of circumstances where that has frustrated my deck.
And just timing. It's purely timing. You can force an opponent to resolve a die a turn or an action or 2 before they would like to.
Yeah.
They're showing two disrupt and you've got 2 resources on dice. Force them to resolve the disrupt immediately.
And any time you interrupt your opponent's turn and you force them to move to your clock.
Yep. There it is.
Look.
There it is. There's the big boy.
It lands, and
so
no matter what his face is doing, he is grinning on the inside.
Oh, yeah. That's big. So that has 5 damage on it. There's 3.
There's just 3 for free.
Is that 4? No, that might be 4.
No, it goes 3, 4, 5. And so
I believe that's a 4.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it's 4 for free. Yeah.
And Carl's claimed and takes
5 on the snap.
Takes a fair bit. Yep.
Yeah.
5. That's a thing.
We're overriding the holdout.
This is what FN can do. Now, hits the shield. So FN obviously able to, FN's ability we should outline as well.
Yeah, so every time you play an upgrade on FN, you can roll the die into the pool immediately, and then if it's on a symbol that you like, you can resolve it immediately within the same action.
Mm-hmm.
If you then subsequently, if the die gives you no value and it sits in the pool, Damien's deck can use it either to convert it for an Unkar value, discard, or he can eventually roll in other characters and activate it.
Hits the It's a Trap. That's big.
Yeah, that's
real big.
He won't be upset about that.
It's only $1 for him, but it's potentially just on the dice that are in play currently. It's bays plus. Yeah, it's at least 9 damage or something on the dice that are in play currently.
Absolutely,
and It's a Trap right now.
And not irrelevantly, Damien's sitting on the best defense.
Yeah.
Which he will cling to for dear life.
Yes, he will.
Unless he plays a second ATST, which would make my day.
They're not unique.
They're not unique, and he's holding one.
He could have a second ATST. It would be the first time I've ever seen 2 ATSTs in play simultaneously. I mean, I've never seen one very often, but 2.
Me too. And
2.
I've just gone from being impartial to wanting a certain outcome.
I'm not going to lie. I'm barracking for the second ATST. I just want to see it. There's 3 damage. No, that one is definitely 3. Yep. So, look, Damien demonstrating that, you can have a meta. Yeah. But it doesn't matter.
Defensive position to remove a die.
Yep. So
seems fair.
That is a strong card for Carl in the matchup because obviously there are some fairly high value dice in Damien's deck. But consider how strong that card could be.
That's right.
And it just removed 1 die.
Yeah. So Damien not too upset about that.
Not too upset. There's a melee and a gun on FN.
Both bases, happy to see them.
Yep, exactly. It's damage.
And Damien will just grind away to get rid of Snap.
I expect to see Damien do something tricky here with the vibro knife I think that he still has in hand. So he might resolve that.
He'll need another resource, won't he?
No, he can. I think you'll find he'll overwrite the holdout blaster. So he'll resolve 1 damage and then override it with a...
Would you do that? Like, FN's taken 5 and the holdout blaster redeploys?
Yeah, I suppose the redeploy is relevant. It looks like Damien's stabilised pretty well here, though. Like,
I think Overkill's about to land on Carl's side, which is not irrelevant.
It's not nothing. But the Vibro Knife, very important here. A large amount of the survivability of Carl's deck comes from shields.
Yes.
Vibro Knife circumvents that so effectively. Both the Duggins become useless. There is another... What's the other... There's another red card that is... that gives you shields, and I can't remember which one it was that he was playing. I'll see if we've got his... I actually do have his list in front of me here, so I'll just double check it.
All right. Overkill has landed on Carl's side, which is a very efficient card, but needs a base to operate off.
Yeah, it works very well on base. Hence why it has his picture on it. We'll take a look at Carl's list real quick here, just to see what I'm trying to pick. So... no, he doesn't have it. No, I'm.
Is it?
Spirit of the Rebellion. Yeah. Sorry, there is another one. So demonstrating that he'll not a great card on the surface. So Spirit of the Rebellion.
Carl showing at the moment at least 5 damage, but only 1 base.
Yeah, 1 base. Sorry, and Spirit. So Spirit of the Rebellion. Gain 1 shield for 0. If there's a second copy of it, if there's a copy of it already in your discard pile,
you can pay 1 to repair it.
No, you don't. So that's a different one, actually. I don't know what you're talking about, but no. This is 0, gain a shield.
Yep.
If there's a second copy in the discard pile, gain 2 instead.
Okay.
So 2 cards, 3 shields, basically.
Yeah.
It's a good card to pitch to reroll. There it is in front of us.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's a good card to pitch to reroll. And it's, look...
And then you get 2 shields for free later on.
It's the survivability. It's the survivability. This deck... As you say, very little spot removal. It's more about you want to get to a point where you've stabilized, you've got the battlefield locked up, you've got an opponent's die essentially permanently out of play, and you're just eking out value with your inevitably doing a large roll and just doing damage with guns, basically.
That's right. My experience of the red decks is that they wait until you commit, and then they make it so difficult to grind that character out that by the time you get there, you've suffered such damage along the way, you can't close out the game.
So the thing with this list and demonstrating there, Snap will die. In most matchups, you expect Snap to go down, but the plan is to delay it for as long as possible.
Yes.
The longer Snap's alive, the longer your opponent is struggling with minimal resources and inability to claim, you're getting more advantage with particularly in this case with Bays. I mean, hence why Cull's a big fan of this list, purely based on the fact that Bays can just roll in and do 8.
He absolutely can. And I'm pretty sure at some point Damien played the best defense, took 3 on the Trooper and got rid of a couple of the more dangerous stuff.
He did. So best defense, again, showing its power. Very strong card. It's 3 damage, but that's why we play characters like the Trooper. Just because their health, you've got to look at their health as a resource.
Damien using Uncar's ability to hit center placement there and earning $2.
Yep. So that's both center placements out of play. So this is great. So now he gets to roll in the does he roll it?
Maybe it's only weapons.
Oh no, it's weapons abilities.
And
yes, of course.
Equipment.
Yeah. So so FN's ability does not trigger off equipment. Of course, that makes much more sense.
Although, now, interestingly, even though Snap's dead and it looks like the momentum's sort of been going with Damien.
Yeah.
Bays is absolutely loaded up now.
Bays is huge.
And all of Damien's team is roughed up.
Yep, Damien's team is real low. But one good turn from Damien and Bays is not long for this world.
That's right.
So we're going to see a flank. Again, it's a great card. You're playing a 3-character list. Pardon me. You're playing a 3-character list. It's almost always going to be on, particularly in this situation.
And particularly important because that would have been a dead FN otherwise.
Yep. So flank, demonstrating the power there. That's a +1 melee and a +3 guns.
Yeah, that's
that again, demonstrating a lot of damage. So that's 2 +3. So that's 7 damage.
Damien now
considering his options.
Yeah, so he possibly regretting playing the personal shield because he's not going to have the time to roll in and resolve
to get any value
before
from it.
FN gets killed.
Yeah, so value not there.
I think you have to force the issue now, roll FN in, and then have everything redeploy.
So that's a Imperial Inspection. Good card. In this situation with Unkar, unfortunately Unkar only has 1 die, but so what it does, when you roll a Disrupt, you may exhaust that support to bounce a 0-cost upgrade.
Up to a 2 cost.
Is it up to a 2 cost?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, apologies.
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose it always bounces my fast hand. So, sorry, it returns. It returns it to.
It returns it to the owner's hand.
Yes. Yeah. So
FN dying, the F11D redeploying, and personal shield being lost.
Yep. So yeah, this still a close game. So there's Imperial Inspection. Yep, up to 2, 2 or less. Returns to their owner's hand. Great.
Depending on the matchup, it is either hugely influential or irrelevant.
Great tempo play. It's incredibly strong. Like even in this situation, it's amazing. I mean, it's die removal. So,
it's particularly good against mono red, who almost never get to a 3-cost upgrade.
Yeah, exactly.
But against decks like Han Ray, they just go bigger. They'll just play bigger upgrades.
Yep. So it looks like Carl's is having a bit of a peruse of what's in Damien's graveyard or discard pile. Oh, right. So no, apologies. So Damien just confirming whether or not he had the correct amount of money for the turn, which looks like he actually shorted himself $1. Now Anka hasn't rolled in yet, and it does look like Carl at the liberty here to claim whenever he. That is the advantage of this deck as well. Once you go down to 1 character,
you can claim
very quickly. He does have a planetary in play, which is not nothing. That is damage that's going to be happening every turn, as well as the carbon freezing chamber.
So, if you're Damien here, are you looking to make Carl discard a card and maybe get a resource? All right. So Carl forcing Damien to resolve his trooper die, which will steal a resource from him and only do 2 damage to shields. So this is actually an excellent play by Carl.
Yeah. Yep. So
because it robs Damien of options.
Yep. So there's the that removes the support.
Can that hit Planetary Uprising?
Yes, it can. That is basically destroy target support.
That is set the cat amongst the pigeons.
That's something. Damien's not unhappy with that roll. That is very relevant. I don't. So
Carl's clearly claimed.
Carl immediately claimed, and I think
Damien split it.
I think Damien here is almost obliged to use that ability.
Look,
he wants the damage.
You got 2 lines.
He wants the damage. And apparently it wants to.
Yeah, look, the ATST driver knows what he wants.
Knows what he wants.
Says, look, listen, command. I'm the one on the ground. This is what you got to do.
He's got some issues. He's got some issues with those Wookiees. So Damien gaining some resources,
and not terribly can gain 3 shields off personal shield here, and discard Planetary Uprising.
Yeah, I think
which I think would be my line.
I agree. I wouldn't have re-rolled it in the first place. I would have been happy to discard Planetary Uprising because it is guaranteed damage. 1 more damage to the trooper here.
He is saving Unkar.
It is possible he hasn't even considered the fact that he can do it.
It's certainly not an interaction that comes up frequently.
No, very rarely.
I don't think I've seen it.
Very rarely do you have an ATST. Very rarely do you have the special. And very rarely do you have a target.
Yeah, that's right. and who gets rid of Planetary Uprising? Like you kind of just figure
rewarded gets the 5. Is that the 5? Yeah, that was the 5 damage. 5. And Damien knew what he wanted, and he got it.
Yeah.
So Baze has 11 health. Currently,
not anymore.
He has 6 damage, so he's currently on 5.
That's right. So Damien figuring, and possibly quite rightly, that 2 damage a turn isn't going to break him.
Isn't enough. He feels he's got enough. Got the 3 shields on Unkar, so he's willing to think that he
picked up the other best defense there, because that's kind of wonderful.
Yeah, definitely write off. So you write off the FN here with a best defense for enough relevant dice. Sorry, the trooper rather, not the FN. Sorry, FN's already dead.
Yeah, look, that's terrific. And a lot of modifiers there. Not so many bases.
So I think Damien here can sit on the best defense, wait for Carl to roll into a relevant.
I think you roll the trooper in.
There's a second Imperial Discipline.
Imperial
Infection.
So he can return 2 upgrades to Carl's hand. Should Unkar roll a disrupt?
Yep.
But there's only 1, I think, on the 6 sides.
On Unkar?
Yeah.
Yeah, he only has a disrupt 2, I believe. So what have we got?
I certainly would have been tempted to roll the trooper in first and try and get value from his die.
So he's just choosing the best defense, the relevant dice. That's a lot of damage reduced. So there's Anka's plot die.
Yeah,
So
I'm pretty sure he just saved 9 damage.
I thought so. Yeah, he has two disrupt sides.
Yeah, no, sorry, you're right.
Yep. And yeah, Damien just prevented a large amount of damage. And the best part, not only did he prevent the damage from going where Carl would like it to have gone, the 3 damage was also only 1 damage taken kind of thing. So it was maximum efficiency for Damien. So
Carl really dug in for 3 shields, and the ATST's
unhappy about said shields.
Yeah.
So he's gonna say goodbye. There's an It's the Trap. This is gonna hurt. Carl firing it off just because he can, and needs to. So that's 2 plus 3. That's 5, 6 damage. For the low cost of 2 resources.
Yeah.
So one resource for the It's a Trap, 1 resource to resolve the base on the blaster.
And that swings the game pretty significantly.
Yeah, that's a fair bit of damage. But Anka hasn't rolled in yet.
Anka's only got 3 damage remaining.
Yeah, Anka hasn't rolled in yet. Damien still has options.
Which means if Carl claims, Anka has 1.
Yes, he does have 1. So Damien needs to quite aggressively...
So he hits the disrupt, so it's Christmas.
Yeah, the problem is...
it's too late.
So Damien has to hit shields here, because otherwise Carl's line is claim, deal 2, and then first action claim.
That's right. So Damien was probably better off rolling in Anka before rolling the ATST.
Yeah, possibly.
But I imagine come the second game, he will take a different line in the same situation.
Yeah, I agree. So now, interesting decision here for Damien. What do you...
So he's looking that he can deal 5 at the moment and claim some shields.
Yeah, he's going to claim the shields, which
makes sense.
Nulls the planetary uprising for at least 1 turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that takes the claim line off the table.
So Carl claimed in response to Damien claiming the 2 shields, but Damien now must hope that Carl doesn't hit a hit and run.
Yeah, the hit and run's still very live. I think he's played 1 so far, so the hit and run's still a very live
I think
target.
This has just occurred to Carl, and he's checking to see.
No, he might not have even seen 1 yet. So hit and run could be lights out for Damien here, for Big Nose himself, Uncle Plot.
Yeah.
It's a large target.
Not a handsome alien. as far as
it is a large target. Damien considering his options here, I think. Choosing to confiscate the blaster, very much reducing Carl's potential for damage next turn, which I do like a lot.
Yeah. Also, reducing the likelihood that he can hit resolvable damage off a hit and run.
Yes.
First action in.
So Carl pitches his whole hand clearly looking for a hit and run. So there's one,
and he finds
at least 1 in hand. So hit and run here, not the worst. So he does a hit and run. Damien reacts, and he does it. He does it. That's 3 and 2? That's 5?
No, he must have the resources to pay for it.
He has the resources to pay for it. And even if
she wrote.
Even if it was a little short on damage, he just claims and gets the next action claim.
Absolutely.
So
red deck doing what it does best.
Yeah,
all guns, all the time.
Interesting discussion there. May have been worth Damien removing the support. I think he...
Look, I think I would have, but I'm not sure that would have been right.
Definitely. I mean, it could have been...
It removed some of the pressure, particularly the claim pressure.
Yeah, of course. So now this is match play.
Yes.
So there will be no die roll.
The loser of the previous round gets to determine whose battlefield that they'll start with.
Yeah, they're assumed to have
once they've looked at their hand and mulligan.
So in the same sequence that you would normally play out a match, you just assume that you won the roll, basically.
Yeah, that's right.
So Damien is playing Docking Bay, which is quite good against both of these. It's pretty strong. So it's interesting actually. Given the new rules change, so we actually did a video on it which was put up a couple of days ago.
That's right.
Discussing some of the most recent like FAQs and erratas and such. And one big one. Not a massive change,
but whoever controls the effect.
Yeah, very powerful.
Yeah.
So previously, when an upgrade changed location, if the die was already in the pool, it remained in the pool. So if you were to docking bay someone's gun to a different character, the die's still there.
Is docking bay to play a support or upgrade from your graveyard for 1 cost less?
No, docking bays move an upgrade.
All right.
So docking bay allows you to move an upgrade from one character to another. And given the new rules change, what that actually means is now when an upgrade changes location, the die is removed from the pool.
That's right.
So that now becomes the removal. And for Damien against Carl's list, wait, I'm talking crap.
So Docking Bay, you can play a support from your hand or discard pile, decreasing its cost by 1.
Okay.
So it allows Damien to discard the ATSTs should you see him early on in the piece, and then play him at a discard of 1 later on.
Here I am talking about the upgrade. That is the
which
effect.
is absolutely an interesting.
What battlefield am I talking about?
It's the one we just played when before we were commentating. Marcus and I were playing
I would have sworn that was Docking Bay, but apparently not. Okay. Well, there you go. So that's the ability. Forget everything I just said because I'm a fish.
So Damien will be able to play a support only from either his hand or his discard pile at a reduction of 1 when he claims. So it saves him an action and also a resource. It's excellent for him because other people don't play so many supports. However, Carl will be able to play Planetary Uprising.
Planetary Uprising and such for the low cost of 1.
Which seems like a bargain and an action efficiency.
Yes. So Damien hits the ambush. So that's the dream, right? You want to play a Vibro Knife, get the ambush, hit something relevant,
and then resolve it. Lovely. Not sad to hit the field medic, but that's the same as hitting 2 damage.
Yep. Now it still has the ambush action, which is interesting. Maybe misses the ambush there.
Maybe misses that interaction.
All good.
I'm not sure how long Damien's been playing this deck.
No, he's definitely been playing for a little while. I think he might have just missed it there. It's not like him. He is a very deliberate player. He does know what he's doing. So I feel he might have just slipped his mind that he actually still had another action there. And obviously, they're playing
there's some not insignificant damage.
That is some damage. And no resources. And so you just give confirmation there. He apparently just muttered to himself that he missed his ambush.
Yeah.
It is relevant. Because it changes things. But here we go. This could be huge.
This is always thrilling. Hit or miss.
Hit or miss. So he hits a rocket launcher.
So it would seem.
Can't be unhappy with that.
And a quad jumper.
Gonna choose the rocket launcher.
I would too.
Gets to roll it in as per the rules of FN. Shows damage. Doesn't have a resource.
That's what rocket launchers do.
Yeah. Interesting though that Ankar's dice could be removed. So Ankar's showing 4 value. So
Carl cleverly discarding the 2-cost sensor placement so that Damien can't have him discard it and then have the resources to activate his dice.
Yes. It's very likely that his other cost cards are 0s and 1s.
Yeah.
So he's going to hit
a 0.
A 0. Yep.
Rebel Assault.
Yeah. Good play by Carl there. Equally well played by Damien, knowing that was what he had to do. Unfortunately, missed.
Yeah, look, I think Damien wasted an action. I think that wasn't the time to play the friends in high places. I think he didn't have the time.
I agree. I think he should have just immediately gone for the resources. He had enough damage showing on board.
But Damien possibly thinking that the previous game was going his way.
Yep.
Having it end abruptly.
Yes. Feels he's a little bit more pressed for time.
That's right, because it's easy to sit on the sidelines and see the lines, but under tournament conditions, it's difficult to be so clear.
Destiny is a harsh mistress.
And it creates pressure.
And in situations like this, such as these, where you are very strapped for resources, it likes to remind you that you are strapped for resources.
It sure does. as soon as you're tapped out, you're going to roll a lot of activate for a resource symbol.
Yep.
At least that's how it seems.
Yes, that happens a lot. So what do we got here? We've got... let's have a look. Sorry, so my co-commentator just had to step out of the booth for a moment. Believe actions on Damien. So he's choosing to re-roll because he can't do anything else with those dice. And there's the resources he needed to resolve the damage that were previously showing on the dice. He's going to resolve 2 resources. Now, Carl. So for turn 1, Carl did not get any upgrades in play, but was able to get an early Planetary Uprising out, which is not nothing. Carl taking that option, that ability to claim, given the chance. So we're going to go to the next turn. 2 damage dealt to the trooper, and we go to turn 2. Look, Damien's board state's not nothing. Like there's a lot of damage on those dice.
There's a lot of power there. I mean, he's taken damage, but he's advanced his state.
Yeah.
As you say, it's usually a trade in Destiny. You can't do all.
No. So Damien rolls in, shows damage on the rocket launcher, 1 damage on the knife.
So if you're Damien, who do you go for?
Look, I think you still have to play Snap. I think Snap is the main target. Snap's what slows you down enough. Well,
look, I think before you see Planetary Uprising, your game plan's pretty clear. Like, you kill Baze, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But once you see Planetary Uprising, it's a bit confused.
Maybe even now, Damien is not strapped for cash. And that's the thing.
True.
The moment, one of the downsides of the Snap decks.
Sensor placement, not sad.
Yeah, exactly. 2 resources.
Tell me he's holding it. Has he got ATST?
Oh, I don't believe so. No, he might have. There might be one at the back. I think he might actually have one at the back of his hand. The thing is, the problem with this deck, once your opponent... So if you're in Carl's situation here, once your opponent gets a bit of a stockpile of resources from turn to turn,
yeah,
Snap's ability becomes very mediocre.
It really does.
I mean, sure, you're whittling away at their resource pool, but you're not trying to starve them of resources. You're trying to give them no resources.
That's right.
So...
Although Carl lazily rolling in and presenting something like 7 damage.
Which looks like it was immediately flanked by the remaining trooper.
Yep. You still got the +3 and Baze's base.
So there's 4 damage, which is going to kill... Oh, no.
No, it's all going on to FN.
Going on to FN. So FN is now...
He's got 4 left.
4 health left. Yep. So currently on 7. Baze threatening to do one more to each character.
Up to 2 or
all
to each?
All.
One to
all. So that's 3 damage across the team. Not so great against the old E-Pelp, or not even as good against 2 character list, but you feel pretty good doing it against 3 character list.
Yeah, I tell you what, Carl's deck's going to have lazily put out 12 damage this turn.
Yeah, it's not nothing. And
then gain 3 life.
Has the time, fires off the dug-in. Not as good given that there's a Vibro Knife in play, but I don't know how much longer.
But Vibro Knife doesn't redeploy.
There's the ATST. So Damien he feels that's his line to victory, playing big guns.
Yep, and look, it's difficult to argue.
Yeah, it is damage.
Like, at this point, I would be wanting to get rid of Planetary Uprising, but that is 5 for a resource.
It's 5 for a resource.
And Unkar showing a focus.
Yep, Unkar showing a focus, So
Damien, getting the resource shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I believe Carl's going to be claiming here. I don't think he can do much else. He's considering just 2 damage from the Planetary Uprising is not nothing. Don't think he can play anything from his bin.
Look, yeah, that's a good point.
He might want to feign that he could do something about it, like, try and present something he's got that he doesn't have. But
Carl's a canny player. He might just think he can apply pressure to Damien's decisions by staying in the turn.
Yeah. So Damien overriding rocket launch with Vibro Knucklers, maybe a little bit bold.
Yeah, that's an interesting decision.
They don't have redeploy, do they?
But for him, he might be able to hit something for free, and maybe it's got ambush.
Has ambush, okay.
That's right, so he gets 2 actions.
Yep. So, uses the ambush reaction. There's a defensive position, which is going to remove the ATST die. Nothing else.
No.
Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Still presenting a fair amount of damage here. Did Carl have the resource for the defensive position? I thought he was out of resources.
I did as well, but he must have had one.
Must have had one, yeah. So Damien just going to do the next highest amount of damage you can do, which is still not nothing. That is 4 damage in melee and 1 damage in ranged. The melee is unblockable, thanks to the Vibro Knife in play. So
at this point, if you're Damien, what's your path to victory, do you think? Because things are looking pretty grim.
You need a bit of a powerful turn. I think you're hoping to...
You want to nuke someone down.
Yeah, you really want to get maximum value off something on FN. So, just before he goes down, you really want to just hit something hard, maybe with an ambush action.
That's right. Like if you're Damien, you're hoping that Carl doesn't hit and run.
Yeah.
And the FN survives to overwrite with redeployed weapons.
Yep.
And then hopefully roll in.
Yep. So, Carl, no hit and run in hand, just rolls in a nice
Unless
and
he's
fair.
got It's a Trap and hit and run. But
No, has a nice and fair base roll, which shows discard one gun. Damien,
I'm pretty sure I can see hit and run in Carl's hand. And I would imagine It's a Trap as well.
He has both?
I think so.
Yep.
This is the classic red deck dream.
Yep. And that's
and
dead character.
He will pretty much near end the game at this
Immediately,
It's a trap.
Yep. So this is what can only be described as like the next iteration of the It's a Trap deck. I think.
Yes.
I think the original being
Leia Akbar.
And this is I think better. I like to say I think this has got more play to it.
Snap adds a terrific dimension with Planetary Uprising.
Yep.
It's interesting. I'm not sure. I think it's probably better, but they're slightly different. They're interesting.
So that's going to be a dead FN, which is huge.
And then a bunch of other damage.
Yep, stuff goes away. Yep. Other damage is splashed around.
And
Unca's dead as well.
And now Carl's a claim away from killing Damien's team.
Yeah. So it is claim or bust for Damien, and no, he's going to fight out.
Unless Carl claimed already too.
And claim kill him. Yeah, there it is. And there it is. Carl demonstrating the power of
hit and run into It's a Trap.
Yep.
It's just brutal.
So now we're going to have a look at game number 2 that's going on the table alongside.
That's right.
So this is first seed plays 7th seed. So this is second seed rather plays. That's right. Seventh seed rather. We just
saw 1v8 and this is 2v7.
Now this is interesting. So Justin Pierce playing the dreaded Pomaz.
That's right. The boogeyman of the current meta.
Yes.
And long may fast hands remain errated.
Yes. And Brendan playing
Luke Ray. He's had quite a lot of success with recently.
Yep.
And it's got an awful lot of control.
Yes.
And it can be very consistent in its output.
Certainly can. So currently, we just had the game score updated.
Brendan won the first game.
He did. Interesting. So won the first game, and in this game,
does it look like 7 apiece to both Luke for Brendan and Poe for Justin?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yep. 7 damage each. Sorry, I missed the different color.
Yeah, they're those beautiful double-sided.
Yeah, UV printed acrylic. Yeah, they're very nice tokens. Broken token, I think they're made for. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Somewhere in the US.
Someone very clever.
Yes,
has made Rebel and Imperial sides.
Very nice. There we go. So, talking about the game, that is Brendan firing off the Force is my ally, which is going to resolve a 3
twice
without removing the die. Ambush. Resolve a 3.
Is he going to lazily do 9 damage?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he resolves a die without removing it with ambush, and then he gets to have another action,
which is resolve melee.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's,
just a casual 8 damage.
I would not want to have the pressure of being Maz right now.
That is a dead Maz. That is a very dead Maz. And that's very difficult to play around. That is very difficult to play around. And I believe Brendan may have just tied that game up.
I think so, because it looks like we're playing on Starship Graveyard. So so Justin interestingly plays Starship Graveyard.
Yeah,
and Brendan plays Maz's Castle. So it looks like Justin's taking his battlefield.
Yeah, so apparently in this game, Brendan chose to play Justin's battlefield.
I thought Justin would have had the choice.
Yeah, would Justin not? Maybe we just need to double check that. Logically, if Justin lost, it meant that he should have had the choice.
I would have thought so. But we're just checking our information.
Yeah, just double checking so we're not misinforming people. We have the game score wrong. So it is actually Justin who won game 1,
right?
And Brendan is on 0. So we'll get that updated momentarily.
Looks like we're headed for a third game.
Yeah, looking like we're gonna get what we need. Hit and run showing its power in this deck as well.
Wonderful card.
Oh, wow. That's maximum damage.
So yeah, that just happened.
Justin hit and running Poe and showing a casual 8. Anything that Luke can do, he can do just as well. So that's going to be a dead Luke.
And 3 to Ray, I would have imagined.
Yeah. Yep. That's not nothing.
Because I would have thought 5 would have killed Luke.
Nah, but he only had. No, Luke has 12 health.
Yeah. Did he have any shields? Because otherwise, 7 plus 5 kills 12.
Not sure.
All right. So it's possible that under tournament conditions, which we mentioned, Justin's just got his math wrong.
Yeah, it's all right. What happens? You're not going to correct your opponent if they slightly miss math.
That's right.
They are playing. We must there's prizes on the line here.
Would this be a discard too if you're Justin? So he's obviously rolled in C3PO, which allows him to change the symbol.
Yep. Well, maybe Justin didn't mess up. Maybe Justin chose to leave the +2 in the pool.
So
of course, yeah. So
Justin missing the fact that you can't resolve a modifier without a base.
So the important thing to take from that interaction is C3PO does change the symbol,
but not the conditions.
Not the conditions nor the value.
Yeah.
So the plus is attached to the value. So that die remains blue. No matter what symbol, which means it is unresolvable. It requires a base.
That's right.
So yeah, just a bit of a misunderstanding, I think, of the rules there by Justin. Nonetheless, interesting thing to know. Given the way League plays out, these players might not necessarily be playing the deck that they've played in any other rounds of the league.
That's right. They're allowed to change every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. So we've just been informed, actually, that it appears that every player in the top 8 is playing something different to what they were playing to get to the top 8.
Which is kind of terrific. It shows a healthy meta and that there's development.
Oh, well, it just shows how much of an impact the recent erratas have had on diversity in the game and the fact that, the game is now in a great spot.
Absolutely. Like the number of viable decks now, or at least decks that look intriguing and are good enough to play.
Oh, definitely.
Has vastly increased.
100. Absolutely. Like, there is, no doubting. It is great. Destiny is in an amazing spot. So
we're replacing Makashi training with a holdout blaster.
Yep. Still,
and chaining into a vibro knife. So we should have 3 actions.
Ray doing what the Ray does, quite effectively,
and 2 vibro knives and Ray's dice, along with a force push means. A force speed
misses the force speed action. I mean, I think force speed there's lights out.
We do have enough actions at this point because there are 2 actions left for Brendan to reroll and then resolve a force speed die or the melee damage, whichever wins in the game.
He has options. He has options here. I mean, look, let's be honest. Poe is on 4, and with the dice that are in play, that 4 damage is not an unreasonable amount of damage to be dealt.
No. Raised die or the vibro knife.
So there's one more action left, which I imagine will be take 2 more actions.
Yeah, things get a bit dicey at this point. If you need raised die to hit the 1 and 6, it's a little bit trickier.
So it takes the 2 actions. It's a little harder now. What are your other options here? I mean, what are you really worried about?
I'm just checking Brendan's list, but I'm not seeing any.
Well, if he has a use the force.
Oh, he's got 1 use the force.
If he has it in hand, it's a free win. But I believe he would have snapped that off had use the forces in the bin.
So at this point, I'm looking to deal 1 or 2 damage if I'm Brendan and survive the turn.
Well, he has 2 actions left. So 1 action is probably going to be just deal the 2. Is that what card's that? So that's Return of the Jedi. It looks like he's going to pick up the use the force?
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi costs 1?
It's him a valuable action.
So
so he's returning. Returning the use the force we were talking about.
Yep.
And then I guess he's just going to present lethal.
And
force. See if Justin can solve it.
Force Justin to have an answer. Interesting.
I think I probably would have made a 2-turn play.
Does he know? Did Brendan miss the fact he had another action?
I think maybe he did,
or he just didn't take it.
Well, whatever the case is, he certainly didn't take it, and Justin's replied by playing a heavy blaster.
A heavy blaster.
Wonderful weapon.
Brendan removing the correct die. All right, so
maybe Brendan holding the use the force defensively.
Yeah, maybe choosing to hold on to it defensively. Interesting to see. I mean, looks like it might pay off for him here.
Well, Justin can only resolve. Oh no, he's got the resource die to resolve.
And that's a close quarters combat. So that is I believe he just emptied Justin. No, Justin has 5 cards in hand, so that will be discard 2.
That's right.
It's a black one and something else. What card was that?
Sorry,
I missed the other one. That might have been a Lost Cat. Yeah, Lost Cat and Mouse. It was. All right. So Justin left with a decision. So he can resolve 1. He's going to go for the unpredictable ambush.
Yeah. Interesting line. If he
go for the max, there it is.
Look at that.
Maximum damage.
He's going to deal a lazy 6 and then present 2 more later on.
Yep. Just roll well, right? That's how you do it.
Hey, it doesn't hurt.
It's always nice, but when you roll badly, it's not as nice.
So if you're Brendan here, like I think my line would be to deal the 2 damage.
Yep.
And then once Justin claims the resource, to turn down the holdout blaster.
Yeah,
which only has 1 non-cost base.
So it looks like he's immediately going to utilize use the force.
Which is not terrible, but it allows Justin to reroll 2 dice.
Yeah, 2 dice as opposed to rerolling the 1. Not of something to consider here is that there is still a C3PO yet to be rolled in and a planetary uprising in play. So it looks like Justin just claimed. So Justin realizing he's happy to just take the 2 damage, the free 2 damage. Actually, no, this game. It's just
because he can claim again.
Yeah, snap claim.
Then,
Deceptively strong card is the old planetary uprising.
Yeah. It's easy to miss the fact that it's essentially 4 damage at the end.
Yep, that is unavoidable.
Because you claim and then...
So, looked like we had a massive swing there and then it swung back.
Yeah, it looked like we were going to go into a 3rd game. I was excited to see them play out, but...
unfortunately not. So
the Boogeyman's still very good.
Yeah.
Pomaz pushing it.
Still good. Good. So we saw 2 good matches, actually. We saw all of one match, one game of another match. Quite enjoyable to watch. Not sure the results of the remainder of our top 8, but coverage of the next event, coverage of the next round, we'll find out who was successful and who wasn't.
Certainly going to be interesting heading into the next round. And what we saw is all the players using new decks.
Yeah.
So
the meta. Amazing.
So the meta is reborn, and there's more variety, but also. Our players aren't as practiced with these decks as they were with the ones through which they went through the tournament.
Yep.
And we saw a couple of minor play errors, but it's still going to be interesting. So what went through? We've got Pomaz.
Yep.
Versus Carl's. What was Carl playing?
Carl's playing snap base.
So red hero well represented.
Yep. Okay, so. Currently, Carl's opponent is yet to be decided. That will be
that's being played as we speak. It's just not on camera.
Yeah, not on camera. We can only cover 2 games simultaneously at the moment. Eventually, we'll get to the 4, but just
the
2
dream
for
is
now.
alive.
Just 2 for now.
So
Rayhan,
Zach Trent firstly playing Rayhan and
Emoteens,
which is Anakin and that crybaby from.
Kylo Ren.
I don't want to even say his name.
Yeah. Well, either way, we'll be back with the next one. And
please stay tuned.
Yeah, please stay tuned. It's been a lot of fun.